Hey, what's up guys, Cinemun Tutorials here, and today I will be doing another episode of my beginner tutorial series, and in this episode I will be covering basic projectiles or player shooting. So yeah, let's get started. So what you're going to want to do is create another sprite by clicking the Pac-Man icon, and naming it SBR underscore bullet, which is short for sprite of bullet, and you're going to want to click edit sprite, click new sprite, which is the piece of paper up there, and you're going to want to make the width and the height 8 by 8. So you're going to want to change it from 32 to 8 for the width and height. And then press OK. And then double click that square right here. And then zoom in by scroll wheel. You can use the scroll wheel or you can use the buttons up here. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to select the ellipse or the circle icon here. And you're going to want to, you can choose any color you want. I'll just do red for the sake of this tutorial. And what you're going to want to do, actually, you know what, I might do yellow. So what you're going to want to do is just create a circle. Like that, fill it in, and there is your basic bullet right there. It's basically complete. You can technically do any shape you want. You could do a square, you could do anything. It's just for the sake of this tutorial I will be doing a yellow circle. So click the green check mark in the top left corner and click it again, and then make sure you press this center button as we did with the player up here, or else it won't work quite as well. It will work, but not quite as well. So just click OK, and then what you're going to want to do is create a new object, which is this little ball up there, and you're going to want to name it obj underscore bullet, and you're going to want to assign, you're going to want to click the little sprite drop down icon here and assign it to the sprite of the sprite bullet. And that's all you need to do in the obj bullet for now. Press the OK button and then go into the obj player. Go into the step event and double click the execute code icon. And this is code from my past two tutorials, so I will not be covering what any of this stuff does, so go check out my past tutorials if you want to see more on this. So what you're going to want to do is up here, we're going to want to assign a variable and call it shoot, and we're going to set shoot to equal mouse check button pressed in brackets MB, whoops, caps lock, MB left. So what this is doing is it's setting shoot, so that we have a variable called shoot, and when we press the left mouse button, which is basically what this does, shoot will equal 1, else shoot will equal 0, which is basically the same thing that we did up here. When we press the left key, left equals 1, and when we don't press it, then it equals 0. Same thing with this, except we're checking for the mouse button. So yeah, you should have that. And now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go under our collision code from the last episode, and you're going to want to create a new space here and make a comment and call it shooting. So this is like a new section of code. And what we're going to want to do is say if shoot, basically when we do if shoot, it's the same thing as saying if shoot equals 1 or equals true, or true. You could do that, but we're just going to do if shoot just for short, which is exactly the same thing. So it's checking when we actually press the mouse button, which is assigned to the variable shoot again. So you're going to want to do an if statement and call it if shoot, and we already went over if statements in the collision tutorial, so I won't go over if statements again. And we're going to want to do if shoot, and then we're going to do a new function. It's called instance underscore create x,y obj bullet. So basically what this is doing, when we press the mouse button or shoot, when shoot is equal to 1 or true, we're going to instance create, which basically what instance create does is it creates a version of whatever object you'd assign in here, right here, so whatever version of this object at whatever x and y coordinate. So basically what we're saying is create a bullet at our current x and our current y positions. That's basically what we're doing. So when we press the button, it creates a bullet at the player's x and y position, a version of the bullet. And that is all you have to do in the player object. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to click the check mark, and you're going to want to press OK. And then you're going to want to go back into the obj underscore bullet object, and you're going to want to click add event, and add the create event, and then go under control, the control tab, and drag in execute code, like that, the little piece of paper. And then you should get the code window up here like this. We've went over this many times, so I'm gonna go faster at that part. So, alright, faster at those parts of the tutorial, because you should already know how to create event. You should already know what events do and what actions do and stuff. So, yeah, you're gonna want to drag in a piece of code, or execute code thing. So what you're gonna want to do is we're going to assign a variable. So we're gonna say initializing variables. I'm terrible with spelling, guys. There we go. And then we're going to want to say a variable called dir, which is short for direction, equals point underscore direction x y mouse underscore x mouse underscore y. So essentially what this is doing is we have a variable called dir, and it's setting the dir to, whoa, what did I do there? It's setting dir to whatever direction from our current x and y position, which remember is basically the player's x and y position, to the mouse and the mouse y position. So what it's doing is it's pointing in the direction of our x and y position, and then pointing to the mouse x and the mouse y position, which is basically wherever we click on the screen, it'll be created and go the direction that wherever you click. So for example, this won't work yet, but if I clicked here, right here, the bullet would, so if I clicked right there, imagine this player's where I clicked, and I screwed it up. I gotta delete that. The bullet would travel in this direction, essentially. The point direction points it in whatever direction we clicked the mouse. Okay, hold on. Delete. And then we're in the next piece of code that we're gonna do. It's gonna move towards it, or move in that direction, essentially at a certain speed. So if it was over here, if we clicked over here, then the bullet would go this way, and that's basically how that works. We're gonna want to delete this. This was just a demonstration. You don't have to just do that. I don't know what I clicked there. Okay. All right. So that was just a demonstration. So that's what dir is doing. So it's setting dir to whatever direction it is. So for example, if we clicked at 90 degrees from the player, it would set dir to 90. And then what we're gonna want to do is make another comment and call it move in that direction with a certain speed. With a certain speed. In a certain speed. Or with a certain speed, I guess. Works out fine. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do another new function. Well, point direction was a new function. And essentially if you click, here's a cool trick. If you click anywhere in the function, like for example, if I clicked right there and I pressed F12, it'll bring up an instant, like tutorial, like basically a reference for how it works. And this is basically explaining exactly what I sort of explained. See, it's pointing in the direction of X2 and Y2, which is mouse X and mouse Y. Alright, so let's get over that. We already did that. Whatever. Alright, and then what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to do a function called motion underscore add dir, and then at a speed of, let's just say, 14. So what this is doing is it's applying a motion to the bullet, and then it's asking for what direction it is and what speed it's going to go at. So what we're doing is we're applying a motion at the dir variable, which we set up here, which is basically, we'll see which direction, it gets the direction of the mouse X and the mouse Y, so we can go in that direction, and then at which speed, and we're just going to do 14, which should be fine, should be fast enough. And that is all you have to do in the create event. So when we click, it'll face the direction, or get the direction of your mouse X and mouse Y, and it'll move in that direction at a certain speed. So that is basically what this is doing. And you can click the green check mark, and we could be done right now, but I'm going to add a couple more things that might reduce lag with the bullet instances. So basically, when we create a bullet instance, it's taking up memory in the game. And if we, let's say we created a bullet right here, and it moved in this direction, it would keep moving in this direction, and it would save the bullet's data indefinitely. So let's say, hold on, the bullet's gigantic, but let's say the bullet would keep moving off of the screen indefinitely, and it would keep that memory. But let's say we've shot hundreds of bullets, right, like this, all of that data is still being saved indefinitely for the gameplay of the game. And we don't want that because it takes up frames and it's too laggy. And I gotta delete all of these freaking bullets that I created. So basically what we're gonna do is when the bullet is outside of this square right here, which is essentially the room, which I explained in the first episode of this series, which is basically where all of the gameplay takes place in your game. Everything that you see at the screen is essentially this box here. And I'm gonna delete all of these because I don't want them in the way. So yeah, so we don't want to save that data because it's unnecessary. They're gone. They're out of the playable area, and we don't want to ever see them again. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna click Add Event, and we're gonna go to Other, and it'll bring down a drop-down menu, and then click Outside Room. So when we're outside of the room, and then we're just gonna type one thing. Here we're gonna type a comment, and we're gonna say destroy the object. So what we're gonna do is when we're outside of the room, we're just gonna say instance _ destroy. Destroy. Like that. And then 2 brackets and then semicolon. So basically what we're doing is we're outside of the room, it destroys whichever instance this is. So remember how we did instance create? Instance destroy is basically the exact opposite of instance create. It destroys the instance rather than creates it. And then click the green check mark. And we're going to want to do one more thing as well. We're going to want to right click outside room here. And we're going to want to say duplicate event. But for the collision of the OBJ wall. So what this is doing is when we collide with the wall as well, so when the bullet hits the wall, it also gets destroyed, which also makes sense. So it destroys the bullet when it collides with the wall, which is basically what this event is, and when it goes outside of the room. And now you can click the little OK box down there, and now we should be good. That rhymed. We should be fine. So if we click here, we can move around with the arrow keys, and we can shoot, as you can see. So if I click right here, the bullet goes in the direction of my mouse, and it goes at the speed of 14, which should be fine. And as you can see, when it hits the wall, it gets destroyed, which is exactly what we want. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please stay tuned for the next one, and see you next time, guys. See you later. Bye.